Welcome to Yin Yoga, and today you might want to grab a ball, something that has a little bit of give, like a tennis ball or a yoga tune-up ball. Have a strap handy, and we're going to use some fascial release today. Sometimes we get little aches and pains in the body that while stretching is very good, sometimes a little bit of pressure or fascial release can support that area of the body as well. So come into a comfortable seated position with the non-dominant leg forward. So if you find yourself habitually crossing the legs with one leg in front of the other, try switching across. So you get that slightly awkward feeling. Now I'm seated on a rolled up towel or blanket with on the edge of it to tilt the pelvis forward. And for those who are just joining, we're going to try and use a tennis ball or a ball today to help with some fascial release. So if you do have one handy, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll sort that out later. Tune into your posture for a moment. Sliding hands back towards the groin and then down towards the knees. Just a gentle slide. And see if you can slide the hands from the shoulder blades. So you feel the shoulder blades squeeze, and as they do, they slide and pull the arms back. And then they relax and let the hands slide forward. So there's this conscious drawing attention to the shoulder blade. Notice any pain or discomfort that brings. And continue that same exercise with the hands flipped, palm up. Good. Keep the elbows close to the ribs. And the next time you slide the hands back towards the groin, hold the elbows back, shoulders back. And feel that stretch across the chest, activating the shoulder blades. Keep the elbows tucked in, that's it. Then release the left hand and sweep it across the front of the body. Reaching towards the right side, and then hook right elbow on the left. So you're locking the elbows and grab hold of the shoulder and pull the left shoulder down with the hand. And then rotate the palm up. Rotate the palm down and turn the head to the left. Turn the head to the right. And then keeping the elbows locked, bring the head to neutral and bring the hands towards each other. If they can touch and grab each other, great. And if they can't, use a strap to connect the two hands. Coming into the really first big, deep stretch between the shoulder blades, gently lower forwards into a forward fold. How far you go down is up to you, whether you want to come halfway to the ground, all the way to the ground, up to you. You can rest on a block if that's helpful. And then slowly come up. Relax the grip. Resting the palms on the thighs. Resting the back of the hands on the thighs, palms face up. Then start your shoulder blade squeezes again, hand slides. The next time they come back, squeeze, hold. And then this take the right hand across the front of the body. Lock elbows and grab the left shoulder and gently pull it down. Turn the head to the right. And then the head to the left. Bringing the head to neutral, keeping the elbows locked. Bring hand to hand if you can. So 2 weeks ago I couldn't do this, but my shoulder's starting to thaw out. And you can remain upright or come into a prostration forward to any degree that works for you. Breathe smoothly here in this compressed position. Slowly come up when you're ready, releasing the hands gradually. And once again, come into palm up, contracting shoulder blades, hand slides along the thigh. Hold back, squeeze in. And then gently release, extending the legs out in front. So a simple exercise called staff pose, where the legs are extended in front, feet together, toes curled back, and you should be feeling the release in the calf muscles, and bringing the hands to the side body, Now if they don't reach the ground comfortably here, you can also bring them on blocks and you can push down and lengthen the spine. Shoulder blades squeeze. Feel the belly gently suck in. So the taller you sit, the more the belly has to suck in. Somebody once described it as shrink wrapping the waist. Shrink wrapping the waist. Let's do 5 slow breaths here. Keep pushing through the heels. 4. Keep the face soft. 3. 2. And 1. Take 2 blocks if you have and create a nice seat, nice tall seat, and come into campfire pose. And that ball that we talked about, see if you can grab that ball now. Tennis ball, yoga tune-up ball. Golf ball might be a little hard. And bring that ball down onto your mat in front of the feet. And take the left foot and simply rest the left foot on top of the ball. And we'll start by rolling the foot over the top of the ball. So getting that gentle massage through the arch, heel, ball, and then roll it so that your toes grip around the ball. And just lean forward. And as you lean forward, lift the heel so you spread the toes out around the ball. And then release. And to get a little bit more pressure on the ball, I'm going to invite you to stand up and create more weight pushing down onto the ball, rolling the arch over that ball. Now, if you don't have a ball, you could also use the block and simply find the edge of the block and roll your feet over the block there. So you get some pressure into the foot. The ball's a little smoother and easier to do it, that's all. Now look for a sensitive spot on the foot And with that sensitive foot, start to roll side to side over the sensitive spot. And then start to pneumatically pump it. Just pump, 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 pump. And that sensitive spot might move around a little bit, that's good. And then pressure on the toes, pressure on the heel, rolling forwards and backwards over that ball and sensitive spot. And then release, come back to campfire pose. And just notice if you've got any sense of difference between left and right foot. So we really got into the fascia there. Let's start the other side. We'll start with a gentle massage. Grip the ball with the toes, so you spread the toes around and lift the heel up. So you feel the toes all come back and activate in that plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, dorsiflexion. And then we'll come to the standing, where we're going to add more pressure and weight either onto the block or the ball. Look for any sensitive spots this time. When you find that sensitive spot, play with it. You can pump pneumatically, push, 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 push. Or you can roll from side to side or forwards and backwards, rocking over the ball. Really getting into that tight area. If it's too painful, just go around that area, don't go directly on it. And gently release when you're ready. Come back to campfire pose. Now you can sit on one block or two. I'm going to lower myself to one block. And then extend both legs out. And cross right ankle over left. Good. Hinge forward a little bit so you start to feel that stretch right through the back of the legs. Toes curled back. You could be on a bolster here as well. Now, gently grab that right leg, that top leg, and slide it back. And if you can, come into some kind of figure four as best as you can. Grab the ankle and the foot, and we're simply going to rotate the foot. Rotate the other way. And then I want you to give the foot a nice big massage with thumbs and fingertips. Just squeeze it everywhere, including the toes, maybe especially the toes. If it helps to extend and straighten the bottom leg, do so. I'm sitting a bit lower so that feels more comfortable. With the toe massage, pull each toe back and separate, back and separate. And then take your squeeze and come right up towards the Achilles tendon at the back of the foot and squeeze around the Achilles. Okay, let's change legs. So cross left over right, toes curled back, hinge forward, just feeling that nice lengthening at the back of the leg. Come up into your figure four. Grab your foot and start the foot rotations. Passive ankle. Rotate both directions and then come into your massage. Really get deep in with the strength of your hands and fingers. So a little more active today in our yin class. A little more stimulation. We'll come into the longer held poses in the second half. Come into the Achilles. And release. All right. Now we're going to use the ball again. If you don't have a ball, I'm going to recommend maybe rolling up your strap and having a nice balled up strap, something that's basically going to come we're going to roll our shoulder blade, the inner shoulder blade, between the spine and the shoulder blade on the ball. And there's going to be two methods you can do it. You can do it on your back. I'll show you that first. I call this the doggy position. So you have the ball here. You lie down, bending the knees, and you bring the ball right underneath the scapula there. So you kind of roll and find your position, so you roll around like a dog. And once you find it, you can lift the hips up into a bridge and just roll through that very tight adhesions between the shoulder blade and the spine. Ooh. And you can hold the position. You can lower the hips for more pressure, or you can hold the hips up for less pressure. So that's the doggy method. Now I'll show you the bear method. So some people like the bear method better. The bear method is you come up to a tree, in this case the wall, right? And you bring the ball right between the shoulder blade and the spine, and you roll up and down, pressing against the tree. And that can feel really good too. Oh, and that might feel a little sharp at times, so control the amount of pressure. Find your sensitive spot and you can just hang out there for a while with the appropriate amount of pressure. So judging by the way I'm sighing and growling, I'm going to suggest that this area of the body holds a lot of tension. Whew. So it's a nice place to release, I would say. Oh. Now when you've done one side, you can move to the other. Doggy method or bear method. Now I've had a frozen shoulder for a few months here, and I hadn't remembered this exercise, so this is hopefully going to help a lot. The poor person's massage, we'll call it. Oh yeah. Oh. So take another 10 or 15 breaths here on this side. Take a few more breaths and then come into TP pose, moving the ball out of the way. Have a strap handy. Knees together, feet slightly pigeon-toed. Head in neutral head tilt. As you exhale, press the low back into the mat. And then relax the low back as you inhale. Exhale, press the low back into the mat. Relax the low back as you inhale. So you might feel this down towards the tailbone, the deep lumbar spine. reminding yourself that the spinal flexibility is part of the breathing process. Ten more breaths here. Keep pressing the spine as you exhale. Relax the spine as you inhale. Five. Four. Two. And one. Have a strap handy. And pick up your knees and bring the soles of the feet together. Come into a crunch as you reach down and grab the outside edges of the feet, clasping the fingers. Or if you can't reach, put the strap around the outside edges of the feet and pull on the strap. So you're pulling the feet towards you. Lay the head down. And then start to push the feet against the strap of the hands to the point you can feel your shoulders being pulled away from your ears. So the main emphasis here is the shoulders being pulled away from the ears. So trying to train the scapula to avoid elevation. It's also a nice hip opening. Keep the low back pressed against the mat. Keep the head in neutral, so chop the head up, even if it needs to be on a block. Just make sure there's no strain in the back of the neck. That's it. Three more breaths. And just before we release, gently turn the head to the left and drop the left shoulder. Inhale the head to neutral, and then turn the head to the right and drop the right shoulder. Inhale the head to neutral, release the feet, grab a strap, And strap up the right leg. Toes curled back, and then start to massage, floss the bottom of the foot. Now with the toes curled back, slowly lower that right leg out. Keep the right heel off the ground. And once again, feel the strap pull the shoulders away from the ears. This might be a bit tough on the hands. So calf muscles stretch and releasing the elevated scapula. Shoulders come away from ears. Keep driving through that right heel as you start to lift that foot up into the air. Low back, when the low back presses into the mat, stop there and just feel the release in the hamstring, toes curled back. And then take the strap into the right hand only. I like to wrap it around the knuckle. And bend the left knee and hug the left knee into your rib cage. Now as you do that, keep the low back on the mat. Keep that right heel to heaven. And luxuriate in that back traction, low back traction. Keep the shoulder blades relaxed so there's no tensing of the shoulder blades. Whew. We'll just get a little bit more back traction here with a dynamic nose to knee. So bring the nose towards that bent knee and then lower down. So some little abdominal contractions here, some little crunches. Do 3 to 5. And after you've done your 3 to 5, rest the head once more. And then open the hips out sideways. So right leg comes to the right, left knee to the left. Drive out through the heel bones so you keep that nice engagement, internal thigh stretch. Keep the toes curled back, heel drive out. 3 more breaths. And then slowly come back. We're going to release that leg slowly to the mat And relax the whole body as if you've come into a brief slumber. Just relax and let go. Feel the body bounce back. Now we'll try the other side. So once again, starting with the strap, and we'll floss the foot. And then grip the strap across the meeting place of the arch of the foot and the ball, toes curled back, and start to lower that straight leg towards the ground, not all the way, but just enough so the weight of the leg pulls the shoulders away from the ears. So we really want that sense of shoulder release and calf muscle stretch. So find that calf muscle. If this is too tough on the hands, just re-grip. Now, as the leg lowers, there's a slight arching in the back. Not so easy to get the small of the back into the mat, but we'll take care of that in a moment. Keep driving through the heel bone, keep that calf muscle stretch. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lift that leg back, up, 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 until you feel the low back, the small of the back, flush into the mat. Back traction, toes curled back, hamstring traction. For 3, 2, left hand grabs the strap, right knee up to the ribs, and squeeze right knee into the ribs, keeping the small of the back, the low back, into the mat, toes curled back. Ha. Option to do knee kisses here, just to give a little abdominal activation. It adds more traction to the back. And before you bring the hips apart, bring the head back down to neutral, and then you can open the hips out. Keep driving through the heel bone. Relax the shoulder blades. And slowly return. Release knee, release foot, lowering down, temporary Shavasana, just a brief letting go. Bring the feet together and reach the arms over the head. Bring the hands into prayer position, over the head, reaching up overhead. Once again, feeling the abdominals scoop out here, shrink wrap, to give you a little extra length. Now widen the legs into a wide V and bring the arms out 45 degrees outwards from the head in each direction. So you like the letter X. Bring the soles of the feet together into butterfly. And bring the hands out 90 degrees from the shoulders. And then snow angel the hands down to the thighs. Grip the back of the thighs and pull the shoulders away from the ears. Bring the hands out to 90 degrees once again. Come into your X shape. Straddle the legs nice and wide, arms 45 degrees out from the head, spreading the fingers. And then bring the hands back together above the head. Bring the feet together. Shrink wrap the belly as you stretch. Bend the knees, feet on the mat, knees together, feet apart. Clasp the hands behind the head. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, pick the head up off the ground. Low back presses into the mat. Wrap the forearms around the skull and start to squeeze your skull. Low back stays printed into the mat. You can squeeze the heel palms into the base of the skull and lift the base of the skull if that feels good. Shoulder blades apart. Squeeze a bit more. And now start to melt. Very slowly, like an ice block in the sun. Feel the body start to lower very slowly, millimeter by millimeter back to the ground. Elbows start to separate millimeter by millimeter. Head starts to move towards the ground. When the head is pressing and clamping the fingers to the back of the skull, remove the fingers and let the arms rest beside you. Melt into Shavasana. From the head to the toes. Millimeter by millimeter. Breath by breath. Relax even more. Stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're transitioning, transition millimeter by millimeter. Breath by breath. Making a transition luxurious. Smooth, seamless. Without any jarring. Oh. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. Thank you.